Okay, so let's talk about Documentary Watch, which is the tutorial discussion assignment. It's worth 20% of your overall mark, so you know, please give it the respect it deserves. If you do really well on this assessment, it can often push your mark from, say, a distinction to a high distinction, or from a credit to a distinction, or whatever. So it's important that you put some time and effort into this assessment. Basically, what will happen in the tutorials is we'll put you into groups of 2 to 4. Really depends on how many students are in each tutorial. Will depend on how big the group sizes are, but your tutor will talk you through that whole idea. And the the purpose of this assessment is to take the film and the reading and the subject from that week and really look at the broader social context and the social discourse of it, right? So you're being asked to monitor the discourse and of publicity and reception of the film, right? Now, the reading that you have on the film is part of that discourse. It's part of that context. It's part of somebody trying to make sense of the film. So I'm really interested in what you can find about the film. How was the film publicized? Where did the film play? Did it play at a cinema? Did it play on, say, directly on Netflix? Where can you access the film now? They're the sorts of things that I'm really interested in, and taking those into basically your responses to the films. Okay, so working in small groups, you'll gather and collate evidence from a range of sources. Now, these can be print, broadcast, online. I highly recommend that you go up to the AFI Research Collection, which is in the Swanston Library on level 5, I think. I'll find the actual address for you. But really look at what's there on the film. Did the film win prizes? What does the advertising posters say? The merchandise materials. The AFI Research Collection often have press kits for all of the films. Have a look at the press kits. How's the film itself wanting to be read? So here the emphasis is placed on the critical and commercial context in which the documentary is placed. Right? So the purpose of this assessment is for you as a consumer, as a watcher, as a student, is to recognize yourself as an active producer rather than a passive consumer of cultural meaning. And what I mean by that is it's not, a film goer doesn't just sit in the cinema and watch film and that's it. They start to put the film into particular contexts. And I want you to think about those contexts and how you're being encouraged by the film itself and by the marketing and the publicity and the press around the film. How does that create a context for you to watch and, and understand the film? Now, there are some questions here which you can use as a guide for your tutorial discussion. It is a discussion. It is not like a PowerPoint presentation. It's not a mini lecture. Okay, I want it to be very conversational. A lot of what you'll be assessed on is how well you can begin a conversation with the class members, how well you can bring the class into the discussion. What I'm really interested also is looking at the screening and the film as it plays at the screening, and how does other students respond to the film? At what points do they laugh? Do they gasp? At what point do they seem bored and distracted? It's really important that we're all going to the screenings every week and watching them as we would, and kind of creating that cinema environment, because documentaries now more than ever before are doing really well at the cinema, right? They're not these things that just sort of get released straight onto DVD or straight onto Netflix or other streaming sites, even though there is absolutely a market for that. But they are doing really well in the cinema. They're doing really well in festivals. So I want you to think about the cinema experience of the film as it plays and how other students are watching and sort of unpacking and understanding the film. Right, so here are a series of questions. You don't have to follow these questions, right? The questions are here just as a guide. So it's not like you're going to get 1 mark for asking each of these questions or anything like that. They're questions to consider. What I would suggest is you think about all these questions and think about what what of these questions are most relevant to the conversation that we're wanting to have in the classroom. And here is just the assessment criteria for you. Level analysis, use of evidence, things like that. Your ability to work within a team. All right. I want it to be very conversational and very relaxed, but also I want it to be organised, and I want you to demonstrate that you have had some meetings with your team members. You have organised particular, ways for the conversation to happen and things like that. And you have some notes to go on and things like that. Okay, it's a pretty easy one to follow. It should be very conversational. It should be some fun. Have some fun with it, and that's the main thing. And it's really just about unpacking the film and putting it into a broader context. But that being said, I am interested in your own responses to the film and whether, say, the publicity actually matches your own responses to the film and things like that. Okay, see you soon.